Welcome back to the Forensics Detailing Unplugged channel. Today I'm going to give you a tip on how to clean the Go Faster black gloss body trim bits, the bits you stick on with sticky tape. You can include that to these B-pillars that are swelled up, you know, and the gloss black plastics down there. The soft stuff, okay? The soft stuff. I've talked about it before, but I'm going to show you a different method. The method I'm showing you today involves, why am I holding the torch? Involves silica primers. So I've got an example of 2 silica primers that I've talked about on the channel before. Tax Systems Total One Essential, Geon Primer. I've got Brightmax Virtue over there. You've got Car Pro Essence. From what I'm seeing, they're all pretty similar, and I'll tell you now how my mind works is I don't want to have these silica primers. I don't want them. I'd rather not need to have them. So they've got to be giving me something, and I'm looking at them like a hawk, like mean eyes, looking at them thinking, I don't want to use you because you're going to cost me more money. Now, what's good about them is when you use them, you buff them, the paintwork feels, you know, when you've polished paint, generally it feels nice, but it feels lovely with these silica primers. Really smooth, especially after you've left them for 12 hours. These products, Geon Primer says you buff it, you know, you put it on a machine or by hand, work it, thin film, low speed, buff it. Either wait 24 hours and you can coat straight on top of it, or if you want to coat straight away, squirt some of their Geon Prep. Is it called Prep? Geon Prep? I think it is. Their panel wipe Prep over it, wipe down, and you can go straight away. I'm thinking if the product hasn't cured and you're hitting it with Prep, there's got to be some sort of detrimental effect to that, you know. So I prefer to leave it for 24 hours if you can. There has to be, if you more think about that. Tax Systems say apply it exactly the same way. After 3 minutes, wipe off any residue with a clean towel. And Tax say after that, you're ready to go, I believe. You're ready to go, you can coat. But I like to leave this for 24 hours as well. Call me funky, but I just have a feeling that's a good idea. Call me funky. Where did it come from? Anyway, today we're going to be using the Geon Primer with our mini PXE, because it's the right tool for the job if you look at the sizes involved. Perfect size, perfect size. You can use a 75mm pad if you like, but look at this. Perfect size, okay? So that's why this tool is always incredibly useful. Let's just move this cloth over here. Right, I can actually, I've got everything I need. Now, we're digressing, whenever you're using these tiny spot pads, guys, the bad news is you should use tiny amounts of product and cover very small areas. If I try to polish all of this, say here with this little mini polisher, and I load it up with polish, put one big blob of polish there and tried to get it all over the panel, spread it all out, you know, just be flinging everywhere. These rotate at very high speeds, or you need them to rotate at high speeds because the pad is smaller, the distance. Okay guys, I'm back. I was talking so much I ran the battery out on the camera again. It's like the old Chaz and Dave. He won't stop talking. Why don't you give it a rest? Okay, so just been charging. So little pads, that's what I was saying. Got to run them faster because the smaller circumference, radius, pi, all that sort of thing means they travel less distances than big pads. One rotation of a big pad moves one abrasive particle a big long distance. I need 3 hands. Need 3 hands. Moves it a big long distance, whereas a turn on a small pad moves that same abrasive particle or a different abrasive particle at a smaller distance. So you've got to whiz these up faster. If you have any polish on the surface of that pad that you can see, you know, like a fresh blob of it, when you start polishing, it's going to fling everywhere on the small pads. So typically what you can do is just, I really want to shake this with this primer polish or any polish, is you can use the panel as a sort of mixing palette. Now that I've got to be really careful because even that's quite a lot of polish, but let's just take a little bit of that polish and then Nice sticky. You want that, make sure that's centered. Let's just get a bit more in there. Okay, so that isn't going to sling, okay? If I could see little blobs of it, it's going to sling. And let's get some lights so we can actually see the before and after, which is going to be really important, guys, because that's what everyone likes. Which is why that's going to fall over. So where's my light? We'll use, when we're looking at the roof, that's not going to be any good because you want to look down, don't you? So I'm going to need a hand torch. That's it. I don't need the stool. So you can see, you know, like quite a lot of swirls in this. So this will be good for giving us a before and after. Is there a bit of dust on there as well? A little bit. We'll just do a little. Let's just be a little bit cautious with some. O&R. Failing conference. Just make sure that a dust-free surface. Polishing dust. I'm going to need to put this polisher down, aren't I? So where can we put it? Where can I stick the tripod? Over here is good. So just bear with me while I set up the shot. There we go. Let's try and get a bit closer. That's a nice shot there, isn't it? Look at that. Okay. So tiny film of product, and I'm going to break this down. You want to, when you're using tiny polishers, you want to polish tiny small sections because everything shrinks. If you try and use loads of polish and cover big sections and go over it, you're going to throw everything around, and just want to tuck my belt zipper in so I don't run any risk. Okay, so let's go. So I'll speed up to max speed with this thing in a second. Once I've spread it all out. So there we go. Crank it up. Oh yeah. This fresh pad is just first set on a fresh pad. It always just sucks in the polish, so I'm just topping up. Gonna get a clean cloth because I don't want any polish that's in the dirty cloth because I've been using that for white polish. I don't want to put oil and polishes in with this silica primer, so I'm just going to buff that. It feels amazing, these silica primers. Interesting, it is. It just feels amazing. Like even under the microfiber, so nice and smooth. Did I mention at the start of the video the good things about these silica primer polishes? The bad thing is the lack of cut on hard paint. So I couldn't take out the clay bar marring with the silica primer polish. It just didn't have the cut, and I'd have doing subsequent sets. It's just not efficient. It's more of a filler and a very fine polish. But the abrasive effect is ideal for these soft panels. So that is fantastic. Yeah, let me just bring that in. So this is all real stuff, guys. Can you see? So if we go back kind of here, We just press the thing. So where we haven't polished, you can see kind of all the fine swirls. And what we've just done on the rotary there, so there's some bit of product I need to buff there, but what we've just done on the rotary there has really given us, not perfection, or it might look like perfection in the mirror shot, but there's just some very fine ones, but a level that I am more than happy with. I'm looking at it with my eyes and it's so glossy compared to what it looked like before. I just need to get some of that product residue off, so just bear with me. This is interesting because you see everything with black. That's a bit better. Yeah, I can even see. Yeah, I mean, even buffing with that cloth can put scratches into the paintwork. So just over here where I've still got product, I can see the trails of product. I'm just sorry. This GoPro is such a pain because I press the back screen to activate it. You can see it's just put some very fine swirls in, but that's okay. I'm really pleased with how glossy and black that is now looking. So I'll do a second set here, from here to here. I might just go round and do the other side just while I've got that tool piece on, and that'll be great, guys. And then I'll do the same here. And my aim with this silica primer polish is not to take out all the swirls. It's just one hit, smooth glossy paint, and about a sort of 90 to 95% reduction in the big mass of swirls that are on there. So yeah, really nice. Sometimes it's nice to rely on the filling effect with components like this, or you're going to be forever trying to abrade away the fine swirls. So that's this video on silica primer polishes. A lot of you love these products. I'm of the opinion they are good enough for me to have. I don't care whether it's the Geon one or the tack one. The only thing that annoys me with the Geon one is they put blue dye in the product, and I don't like that. I'd rather there's no dye in those things because I can't get the dye out of my pads, and I just don't like that. It doesn't serve a purpose, the dye. You know, I thought maybe it would identify that it's the primer, so I know it's the primer product, so it's a good little thing to have a bit of dye in there. But I think, let's just check this. I think their normal polish, yeah, their normal polish is blue as well. So it doesn't serve any purpose for me. And I am a no frills, I'm a no frills missionary position, straight up, straight down type of guy that doesn't like watermelon scents and dyes in my product. Someone was asking me about certain brands. I'm not going to slag off brands or anything like that, because most of the brands tend to offer you good products and want to offer you good products. But there's certain brands that I just don't use, and guys are like, why aren't you using this products from this brand and this brand and this brand? For starters, if they've got a range of products and it has, you know, they have fruits in the name, and they're heavily scented with fruit smells and all that sort of stuff, it's just not for me. It's just not for me. And in the UK, we've got quite a few brands like that have got a big theme with fruits and scents and stuff like that. Some people love it, and I would have probably been drawn to it as a younger man, but I am more of a functional guy, straight up, straight down. You know, I'm looking for performance from the product, not smells. I don't really care. If they got scents in them, fine. But I have a thing against abrasives having dyes in them. That I don't like. I don't want scents in the abrasive either. I want to be able to smell the solvent. I want to see how that affects me, that solvent. It sounds really weird, this going, oh, fucking nutter. I'll bleep that out. I just don't like the whole, you know, bananas, watermelons, passion fruit thing with chemicals and detailing products. They're functional products to me, and I'm looking for performance over bling, if you like. So that's the way I roll. What else? That's it for this video, guys. I'm not going to be intricately trying to polish all of this. In fact, I have put a little bit of the gloss primer on here and these wing mirrors just to gloss them up and make them feel slick, and then I'll put some protection on top of them, but I'm not detailing them. Nothing wrong with spending the time. If you've got all the tools, you know, you could spend the time. If I hit this up with light, there'll be little swirls and marks and stuff over there. It just doesn't bother me anymore. The older I get, the less worried I am about all these little marks and defects. There was a time, probably maybe over 5 years ago, where I was really trying to maintain the condition of the car relentlessly. It just used to bug me, and I've just gone beyond that phase now. I like the car being clean. I like to know my paintwork isn't plastered in contamination. It's smooth and silky and glossy. But I don't mind. The car can be dirty, really. Just not that bothered. I like enjoying the cars and driving them, taking them for a good rag. I get more excited about the idea of ragging this car around a track. I'm hopefully going to find out if my track day is cancelled. I get more excited about that than washing the thing. I just feel like you have to wash it to keep the condition of the car going, and you can appreciate it a bit more. And I get some enjoyment out of the detailing side. I'm just rambling. My brain's just rambling. But some of you guys are in a different headspace to me, and you might be like I was 5 years ago, where you've got that kind of willpower and desire to really perfect the car and try and keep it perfected. And, you know, you don't need me to tell you if that's right or wrong or not. But what I would say is the enjoyment of the car is more important. You can put yourself in a real negative mindset with your own car if there's a problem with it and stuff like that. And you don't need to, you know, you're creating your own sort of problems. The classic example, Reg won't mind me saying this, the classic example, young master Reg, he first got his M140. You know, it was a big deal for him, but he literally within 3 months of owning it had the front bumper resprayed and had the wheel arch resprayed. And if you'd have seen the defects that he had it resprayed for, you would laugh. You know, one was he had one chip. He had one chip, like you see these little dinks I've got here. He had one of those under here, like in that bit there. You couldn't even see it. It wasn't through to the metal and the primer, and he took it to a body shop to have that sorted out. And that is what can happen. And I would have been the same if I'd have had a 140 in my 20s. So I'm just using that as a fun example. The front of your car is going to get chipped up, damaged from stones and stuff like that. And the best thing you can do is just let it happen. Don't worry about it. And rather than like spending all this time touching up those little chips, maybe once every 4 or 5 years, have the front bumper resprayed. Should only be about 300 quid. You don't need to blend it in. If they do a good colour match, you don't need to blend. So you could almost, if you get to know your body shop, you could strip the bumper off yourself, strip it right down, take all the parts off, because you can do it very slowly and diligently. Give them the bumper and say, I want a colour match exactly as it is. You know, they'll probably charge you less if it's all stripped off, ready to be painted. And you could even say to them, don't mop it, just prep it, paint it, give it back to me, and I'll compound it, and you know, I'll buff it all up to perfection or whatever, and fit it back on the car myself. And that you'll save a lot of time as well. Okay, guys, I better end this video. So he's supposed to be talking about silica primer polishes. I can talk for England. Okay, take care and see you soon.